Is direct response dying? I don't know. Good question. I'll tell you a story and then you can answer it yourself. Okay, so I had a client the other day, and he was in my group where you have to have a high ticket offer, right, to be in this group for me to work with you. Anyway, he asked me, he said, how do you sell without selling? And how do you do it without being sleazy? Because I know you don't like being sleazy, and I know you want to make offers to your people without hammering them all the time, right? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly. I'm all against the silly automated copywriting software, which never exists because the people actually writing the copy don't use that software themselves, right? But nonetheless, let me show you how to sell without selling and why I say direct response marketing is dying. Let me explain. So, first, I want to tell you a little story. So, not too long ago, I was working as a personal trainer, and after that, I was starting my own business, right? And every day, I traveled from outside of London. So, I'll travel from Colchester, which is a town in Essex, in England, and then I travel to London every day. It take about an hour and a half each day, right? So I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning and I'd get home at 11 p.m., right? And I'd eat like literally equivalent to 1,000 calories per day. Now, one day there was two guys, right? One guy, he stepped on a train, and next to him was a guy. He had a brown paper bag, like alcohol in it. Like you could see, this guy was pretty much down and out. He had like Nike Air Maxes on, you know those black Nike trousers, those baggy ones with like a cap, dreadlocks, a long nose, and this guy like his clothes are like all like it was literally like he hasn't ever seen an iron, right? It was all crinkly and everything. Anyway, this and he was just like sitting on a chair, like his legs spread, just kind of looking into the distance, thinking like, what's life about? This guy looked like he literally had nothing, right? And there's this obviously if you've been in a trains or if you're American, you know the subway, right? So the subway was proper packed. So these people were like two people out of a lot of people that got a seat. So I was just standing there holding on to this thing. Everyone's reading their papers. It's a quiet morning, English morning on Monday morning, and it's quiet. And everyone else got their headphones in, and these guys, he starts pulling out papers, right? So the guy next to him, let's call him John. He was wearing a navy suit, tailored fit, right? A blue tux, and then a red little ribbon, right? So this guy, he was looking the shit, right? And this guy, he starts putting out these papers. He's like, okay. And somehow they got into a conversation. I think the guy next to him said, what's wrong? Because the, let's call him down and outer. The down and outer was just looking like he was, like, and the guy just said, look, what's wrong, man? And John, the guy in the tailored suit, he starts putting out these papers. He's like, look, I'm going to tell you something that could change your life. And this day, on this Monday morning, it could change your life. And this guy pulls out a book. And it's the same book I've got in my hand right now. I'll show you in a second. And papers, everything. And people are starting to get off the train. It's starting to get near London. It's in Stratford now. People are starting to get off the train. There's more space. So I'm starting to listen more and more carefully. I can start hearing papers coming out. The pens are coming out. And this guy, he starts getting closer and closer to him. You can see his eyes are sparking up. He's like this, right? And as the train goes, the train keeps going, the train keeps going. And he pulls out a book, and I said to the guy next to him, and I haven't spoke the whole way, I said, don't bother with books. Like, since school, I've never read a book. Like, they're a waste of time. Just do your own thing and just keep trying, right? Here's me giving the advice with acne all over my face, starting a business with literally, I think I had $37 or £37, should I say, in my bank account, right? And I think I actually had less than that, but for the sake of this story, let's say £37. And it was getting bad. Acne over my face, I had like, man, my confidence was rock bottom. I was walking to work every day. The same old, what's it called? a briefcase or whatever those bags are called. I was holding it like this, face down, walking to work. Anyway, and this morning he pulls out this book. He hands it to this guy. After me telling him, "Oh, that's bullshit, don't read it." I walk on that train. 2 years later, I walk on that train. The guys, both of those guys, sitting next to each other again. Me standing up again. Exact same situation. Only this time, that guy is reading the same book. Right, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this guy still has his book 2 years later, because obviously people get in a routine, same station, same carriage, you know the deal. And he's reading this book, but this time he's got a suit, right? He's looking the part, and I get off and he stop, and I start following him, and he walks into this high rise. I'm no lie, he walks into this high rise, and I start following. When I wait outside, and then he starts getting in this Bentley. My mouth was like, right? He starts getting this blue Bentley with these red seats, right? And I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, so he was carrying this book in his hand. Now, I think I waited there for about 30 minutes or something, and then I just went boom, off to work. The very next day, the same two guys jumped on the train again. This time they didn't sit next to each other, right? But something happened. This guy left this book on the scene. Now, I didn't steal the book. I just saw what the cover was and I went and bought it. Okay? And this book right here, 2 years later, guess who's got it? And 2 years later, guess who went from having £37 in their bank account to having a lot more than that, right? And having a waiting list of people and working with people that are having 10k offers. Now, I'm not saying this to boast by any means, but I'm in a much better situation than I was before then, right? I was at rock bottom. Now, here's the book I read. And today, I'm going to give you, and this is not like I'm trying to pitch or anything. Today, you can go on, I'll give you the URL in a minute. You can get it completely for free. No free plus shipping, no nothing. It's just a PDF guide completely for free, right? You can get it completely free. I'll tell you in a minute. But this book right here, it would change your life. I'm telling you right now. Alright, so you can go to the URL. It's called idon'tlie.com. Okay, you go there, see what's up. It could change your life as well. So yeah, that's the deal. Okay, so basically, that story was all made up. Okay, that was just a made up story completely. Right? But the point of the story is this. I didn't say anything about the book. I didn't describe the features, the benefits. I didn't say this is red, this will attract attention. In fact, I just picked up any old book in my bookshelf. I mean, I actually picked the one with not the cover, so you don't go and buy any old book, which probably would have served as a better demonstration. But nonetheless, if you went to the URL, it shows you that it works. If I did my job correctly. Anyway, so here you can see it. I said nothing. I didn't say it's red. I didn't say it will do this for you, that for you. I just told a story around it. Why? Because it's the story that sells. It's the message that sells. Right? Think of the Mona Lisa. Why does the Mona Lisa sell for millions and billions of dollars? And why does a painting on the streets of Mexico sell for pennies on a dollar? Why? Because the story behind it. The Mona Lisa's got more mystery. It's more talked about. Right? So that's exactly why the product doesn't even matter. It really doesn't matter. This thing, look, that if I had like a pad, it doesn't matter. It's all the story that sells. Okay? If I did my job correctly, you would have at least be on the urge to go into the URL. Okay? So that's that. That's how you sell without selling. But before we're done, let me show you something. Let me show you how to do it in a sales letter. Okay? So, right here. The whole job of a sales letter, and that's why I'm saying direct response marketing is dying. Why is it dying? Because no longer can you make a big, bold promise and just hook people in. Yes, you're still meant to hook people in and make a big promise to bribe them to read it, certainly. But you can't make like the big claims like you used to, not at all. And in fact, people's skepticism, as you're probably aware, so fine-tuned, man, they're out like a shot. So the solution is emotional marketing, right? You have to tell stories that connect with people, and here's how it's being done. So here's a sales letter I just quickly got, and this story is about a weight loss product and how this woman right here lost 84 pounds, right? Now, what you have to do when you tell a story in a sales letter is this. Get this, because this is going to build a long-lasting relationship with your audience, and it's not going to be none of this fear nonsense where you just use fake scarcity and fake urgency and just completely lie to your audience, right? That doesn't really work anymore. Yes, it may get you one sale, but after that, you can forget about it. And all, as you probably know, the back end, all the money's made in the back end, right? So this is how it's done, okay? This is Carly on the darkest days of her life. Boom. There, first thing. It identifies with the reader, okay? So whenever you tell a story, it has to identify. If I told that story and let's say you had bad skin, let's say you also were on a train and you felt the same as like one of those guys, right? The more you identify the story, the more you'll be likely to buy. So you have to connect your customer's problem story with your solution story. So here's how it's done. This woman was overweight. She felt venomous guilt. She often thought that her husband was looking over other women. Again, which you can also start with some universal identifications, if you can call it that. And then just to cut to the chase to make this short for you, it really just sums it up here. Okay, see, look, I too never planned on avoiding my reflection in the mirror at all costs. Every attempt to diet and exercise, my favorite clothes didn't fit anymore. Having libido set to headache, suffering from sugary cravings, and scrolling through old Facebook pictures wondering what's happened to me. All of those things will identify with the reader that's reading that, right? And what does that do? It creates a bond, right? That's where all the dough is. The dough is in the bond, in the long-lasting relationship. That's exactly what I'm trying to build with you. That's why I'm helping you. So there you go. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So that's the impact of story. Now, if you want to make it even more effective, you can use what I call the forbidden secret. Now, the forbidden secret is, I want you to think of it like a camera, right? So the forbidden secret is basically like a camera. You need to put on a new lens, and the lens is the story, right? Because if you provide a new story, you'll give people a new lens, a new perspective, a new angle to view things at, and obviously view it in the way that your product solves their solution, right? Now, with a forbidden secret, you can use a story, just like you use a forbidden secret, to take a little step by the little step by a little step. Because like I said, the forbidden secret is like a metal chain, right? It's a metal chain that once you have one link, and another link, and another link, and another link, then you make your argument undeniable, right? No one can argue with it. It's an airtight argument, right? And the forbidden secret is the tectonic plate that's throughout all seven-figure promotions, all of them, whether the copywriter consciously knew it or not, they're in there, right? And I've broken down the forbidden secret in my book called The Forbidden Secret of Copywriting. How ironic, right? Which you can get at daynartonbook.com. So if you're interested, go to that URL, daynartonbook.com. You can learn more about that. But besides that, if you like the video, share it with your friends. And as always, until next time, take it easy.